Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be doing my pile of possibilities slash to be read for middle grade March. This will be the third time which I've participated. Unfortunately, I had to bail early last year because my main focus needed to be writing and researching my blog posts for both of my blogs for the yearly blogging April A to Z event. And the first year I really enjoyed it, but unfortunately I just didn't get any comments on some of my book review videos, so I ended up really disappointed. But now I have no more expectations for my channel at all, so hopefully I will enjoy readathons. A few readathons I still do, like a lot more than when I assumed readathons were meant as like events geared towards like networking and making friends. And so anyway, middle grade March is hosted by Krista at Books and Jams, Amanda at On the Middle Shelf, her name used to be the Curly Reader, Katie at Life Between Words, and a brand new channel created just like for the event middle grade March. And the group read, which I embarrassingly forgot about when I was like picking my books up at the library, is The Mona Lisa Vanishes by Nicholas Day. The library system does not have it. Like maybe I'll see what I can do about finding it online as an ebook or something, or maybe even like buying my own copy if it looks appealing enough. And the prompts are one-word title, debut, immigration/refugee story, animal on the cover, and book you feel like you missed out on. Now I have all of the books in my 3 library bags, which I used to pick them up, but I've already started reading one of them. This was for the refugee immigration story. I got as many of the Rebecca books as I could find at the library. Unfortunately, like 1 or 2 of them were missing, but if I end up enjoying the whole series, maybe I'll buy them my own. You're never too old for American Girl. I love historical fiction, and it's really disappointing they for years now they haven't been taking even like queries, like forget about like manuscripts and stuff, for like suggesting your own new historical American Girl. And this is the meet Rebecca, because Rebecca's parents and grandparents are immigrants to the U.S., and her cousin Anna comes to America in the second book from Tsarist Russia. This is really special because Rebecca is the very first Jewish girl in the American Girl series, and so that's like really awesome. This is why like representation is so important. But obviously I have many thoughts about what I have read so far and looked through in the other books in the series. I'll obviously put them in their own separate video, and here are the rest of the books. This is one of the animal books. Isn't just so cute. I absolutely love pigs. That's one of my dream pets to have one day. Obviously pigs aren't kosher. I haven't eaten pig, and since very late 1996 I went vegetarian before I went kosher. But I just love pigs so much. They're so smart and so sweet. I just love reading about the pigs that rescue like farm sanctuaries. I follow on Instagram particularly the brave pigs who like jump off of trucks heading to the slaughterhouse or the finishing farm. So this is just like part of the series Magic Animal Friends. Millie Picklesnout's Wild Ride. This is just so cute. Lily and Jess can't wait for the Friendship Forest Fun Fair on the magical Sapphire Isle, but the lake around it has turned wild and dangerous. Could this be the work of Wicked Witch Griselda? Tiny piglet Millie Picklesnout must help the girls make the waters safe again for everyone. Just is so absolutely cute. And this is another from the same series. I love horses so much. My sun sign is Sagittarius, and also my Mercury sign and my moon sign. Although technically, obviously, I've explained this in other videos. My Sagittarius moon sign is much more of a Piscean flavor because the year I was born, 1979, the ruler of Pisces, Neptune, was directly influencing Sagittarius. So obviously, like astrology is its own topic for a whole other video. So this is like about magic ponies, riding rescue. A little pony needs a friend. Comet is a magic pony who uses his spells wherever they are needed most. After a dangerous fall, Gina is afraid to get back on a horse. Can Comet help her rediscover her love of riding? And let's see, this looks like, the other animal books are in this bag. Misty the Abandoned Kitten. I love cats so much. If you've noticed, I've been uploading a lot of cat shorts lately because I just, don't have much time to focus on long form videos because I'm working on finally finishing up a long hiatus work in progress. So my writing obviously comes before YouTube, but this is just so cute. Who could resist a sweet little kitten or a puppy? They also have a lot of, puppy things. And of course, some bonehead at the library had to put, the surprise, the sticker over it. But, it's from what I can see, like Amy has always wanted a pet of her own, but her parents don't. I can't even understand what it says on the back. This is so freaking annoying. But anyway, after the sticker, so she is thrilled when she sees a tiny kitten roaming around her yard one misty morning. The kitten is very thin and doesn't have a collar. So Amy assumes the kitten, whom she has named Misty, doesn't have a home. Misty is shy at first, but gradually she begins to trust Amy, who feeds her and gives her the attention she so desperately wants. But how long can Amy keep Misty a secret from her parents? So maybe that cover up by the sticker says like mom and dad think she shouldn't have a pet of her own. I just hate when they do that. It's so like annoying and obnoxious. Like I want to read the full synopsis on the back. I don't want to like guess at what it is or have to look it up on Amazon or Goodreads and like guess what? Here it is again. The Sad Puppy by Holly Webb, and like Amelia has something puppy Monty for a few something. Her grandpa gets sick and has to spend time in the hospital. He desperately needs someone to take care of his beloved dachshund, Daisy, so mom and dad agree to give her a home. But when Daisy arrives, she is unhappy and scared. Meanwhile, Monty doesn't understand why Amelia is making such a big deal over the new arrival. Doesn't Amelia love him anymore? That's just so sweet. I'm a sucker for animal things. So the kitten nobody wanted. There's just like, totally tugs at your heartstrings. I wanted to be a vet when I was a lot younger, but I just, realized I could not emotionally handle having to put an animal down, even if it were like very old and sick. Oh, and again, the sticker covering it when Mia loses her something Sandy. She can't even something a cat again. Sandy was the best cat in the world, and Mia never wants to forget him. Mia's best friend, Emily, is thrilled when her cat, Snowball, has kittens. Emily desperately wants Mia to see the kittens, but for a long time, Mia can't bring herself to. Mia finally visits and falls in love with a small, shy kitten, whom she names Whiskers. Everyone can see Mia and Whiskers are perfect for each other, but is Mia ready to give him a home? And let's see, the last one in this is for the book I feel I missed out on, Deanie by Judy Blume. This was in the young adult room, not the middle grade, although obviously many of her books are much more of a middle grade. Obviously, that's a whole topic for a whole other video, like a lot of books like which were like considered like young adult or what was like the young adult parameters of my generation are now considered more like middle grade because either the characters are younger, it's just like a shorter length, or just a more like simple writing style and topics and stuff. But this is one of the Judy Blume books which I had never read when I was, first reading her stuff, like as a preteen. I even started reading it. Yeah, I definitely started reading it, before I was a preteen. So maybe like, 8 years old or something like that. And obviously this is about, if you don't know, this is like, she has like scoliosis and she needs to get brace, and this is the synopsis. When Deanie sees the brace for the first time, she wants to scream, "Forget it. I'm never going to wear that thing. Everyone will know. Everyone." But the words won't come out. And Deanie, beautiful Deanie, who everyone says should be a model, is stuck wearing a brace from her neck to her hips. For 4 years, or longer. She feels ugly and angry, but only she can figure out how to deal with it. And that's going to take courage. Her mother wants to blame someone for ruining her plans for Deanie. Her friends want to be supportive but don't know how. And Buddy Brader, well, he's never heard of scoliosis, and so that'll be interesting to see if her books, hold up for me as an adult. I haven't reread any of her books. The last one, I'm pretty sure the last one of hers I read was Forever, which was I think 2011 for my young adult literature class. I didn't vibe with that at all for many reasons. Maybe I should do a whole separate video on that one, and let's see what's in the other bag. I think this is one of the books, obviously this doesn't fit any of the prompts, but I found it when I was looking for another book which I thought did meet one of the prompts, and of course, I had to read it, like contemporary historical fiction, and particularly my own work in progress, which I'm finishing up. One of the strongest, one of the biggest storylines in that book is, the dark days of McCarthyism, and star chambers and kangaroo courts and false accusations just because you don't go along with the conservative conformist cookie cutter culture that took shape after World War II. And this is Red Menace by Lois Ruby. If 13-year-old Marty Roffner had his way, he'd spend the summer of 1953 warming the bench for his baseball team, listening to Yankees games on the radio, and avoiding preparations for his bar mitzvah. Instead, he has to deal with FBI agents staking out his house because his parents, professors at the local college, are suspected communist sympathizers. Marty knows what happens to communists, or Reds as his friends call them. They lose their jobs, get deported, or worse. 2 people he's actually met, Julius and Ethel Rosenberg, have been convicted of being communist spies, and they're slated to be executed in 2 months. Marty just wants everything to go back to normal, but that's impossible, thanks to the rumors that his parents are traitors. As his friends and teammates turn on him, and federal agents track his every move, Marty isn't sure what to believe. Is his family really part of a red menace working against the United States? And even if they're simply patriotic Americans who refuse to be bullied by the government, what will it cost them? As the countdown to the Rosenberg's execution date continues, it may be up to Marty to make sure his family survives. This was just one of the darkest marks in American history, right up there with slavery and the internment of, innocent Japanese Americans during World War II. And this is the next Rebecca book about Rebecca's cousin and her family immigrating, although, nitpicky, onomastic person I am, I have to point out, Anna with one N, that's not a Russian spelling, at all, and, many, Jews living in the Russian Empire at the time, they would not have had, native, Russian or Ukrainian or Belarusian, Lithuanian, Estonian, whatever names. They would have generally had, Yiddish or Hebrew names, but obviously I'll touch on more on that when I do the video talking about the Rebecca series. And so her cousin is coming to America with her family in 1914, and I was looking through, there was a scene in the book, Rebecca is forced to wear the dunce cap at school because she has to explain something to her cousin Anna in unison. Oh no, so you spoke something that wasn't English in school. You must be stupid, shamed into only speaking English. Thank God that attitude has long since been discontinued. Seriously. And this is candlelight for Rebecca, a big theme running through the first book. She really wants to light candles for Shabbos. I was surprised she wasn't already doing it from the first book, and even before that story started, because traditionally a girl becomes obligated in that mitzvah on her third birthday, and she's 9 years old already. So obviously I could understand they wouldn't have had money to buy separate candlesticks for her, particularly when she has older twin sisters plus her mother to light the candles. But they could at least take turns lighting them, or they could do other little candles or cheap candlesticks. But anyway, this is a big rite of passage for a Jewish girl. And this is the next Rebecca book, Rebecca to the Rescue, where Rebecca really wants to become an actress. And I love silent films so much, although 1910s films, they're hit and miss for me. My favorite decade of silent film is the 1920s, and I love the actualities from the aughts and the 1890s. So, but anyway, that's a topic for other thing. And it's Coney Island, one of my favorite things to read about, bygone New York City. Rebecca can't wait to try the games and rides at Coney Island. After a dip in the sea, she and cousin Anna set off, full of giggles and excitement. The one thing dampening the fun is Rebecca's big brother, Victor. If only he would stop being so bossy. Fuming, Rebecca resolves to show Victor that girls can do anything boys can do. When Victor and Anna's brothers laugh at her, she and Anna decide to go off on their own. But now Anna is missing, and Rebecca hears fire alarm bells clanging. If anything has happened to Anna, Rebecca will never forgive herself. And this is the last Rebecca book. This totally speaks to my heart too, because unions and the labor movement. This is awesome, left-wing politics. That's totally up my alley. Labor Day 1914, and all the, if you don't already know them, all the American Girl books have the same titles, only they plug in different name. Meet name, changes for name, name saves the day, happy birthday name, and sometimes they might have a new one here and there. Rebecca likes the idea of making a movie, but when her gentle cousin Anna plays a cruel factory boss, the fun turns sour. Then Rebecca learns the truth about factories and begins to see why Anna acted so mean. On a visit to the factory where Anna's brother and father work, Rebecca is horrified. Is this the life that's in store for Anna? There's got to be a way to make things better at the factory, and Rebecca is determined to do her part, even if it means marching straight into danger. So you go, the union movement, that was it's just such a shame, Reagan totally, killed the unions, and they're ripping up the successful, vibrant, left-wing, working class neighborhoods after World War II to build, the highways and, high rises and stuff. It really hurt, left-wing organizing and, the labor movement in the U.S. Obviously, that's its whole thing for a whole other, a topic. And this is another one. This is The Immigrant Story, Which Way is Home by Maria Keeley. And it's a little bit different than usual because it's so many people think, oh, World War II, the show, are the same thing over and over again with just different names and slightly different details. This is actually a post-war story of immigration, so that's awesome. Many people just don't know that side so much. Anna's home has always been her family's farm in Czechoslovakia, a place where she enjoys endless days riding bikes and picking strawberries with her beloved cousins. But now it's getting too dangerous for her to stay there. The communists, originally hailed as heroes after they liberated the country from the Nazis, have seized power. There are spies everywhere, and the communists are arresting anyone who doesn't agree with them. Anna's father is on their list and on the run. Hoping to reunite their family, Anna, her sister, and her mother make their own escape, sneaking off into no man's land to sneak across the border and into an uncertain future. It's a journey that will require all of Anna's courage as they face the challenge of having to put their lives in the hands of strangers when it's impossible to know whom to trust. Maria Keeley's gripping novel is based on the events her mother lived through after World War II, when her family's hopes of restored democracy in Czechoslovakia were crushed by the communist regime. And obviously, this sounds like a cliche, but like those people like in the behind the Iron Curtain, they weren't like real communists. Like unfortunately, it's never gotten past the like the dictatorship of the proletarian stage in countries that have like attempted like communist governments. But I'm a socialist myself. I'm not a communist. So obviously, my politics are a whole thing for a whole other video. And I do try not to get like too political in this channel. Like I just don't want to risk offending people who feel differently than I am. And then we'll pull out the books from the final bag. And so this is another immigration refugee story, and it's also a graphic novel, which I absolutely love. I fell in love and discovered graphic novels when I was taking a young adult literature class in the autumn of 2011, Isla to Island by Alexis Castellanos, and it's about, let's see, Marisol loves her colorful island. Cuba is vibrant with flowers and food and people, but things are changing. The home Marisol loves is no longer safe, and then it's no longer her home at all. Her parents are sending her to the United States, alone. Nothing about Marisol's new life in cold, gray Brooklyn feels like home. Not the language, school, or even her foster parents. But Marisol starts to realize that home isn't always a place, and finding her way can be as simple as staying true to herself and just being made fun of at school. Like who hasn't gone through that? Like immigrants, or not unless you're one of those like unrealistically like popular, perfect people who's always had like a huge gang of friends and like never done anything to like stand out from the crowd, or like people notice you're just a little different than others. And obviously it's really always hard to adjust to like a brand new culture, whether you voluntarily like immigrated or not, particularly when you have the challenge of learning a whole new language. And let's see which one is this. Another immigration story, and it's from Cuba. And I particularly felt, because obviously this is like the darkest time in history for my people since the Shoah. And I also, besides that, I do feel like it's important to like represent and bring awareness to like immigration stories that aren't like Jewish like refugees coming to the U.S. People who weren't like in Europe already, or who like moved to other places besides like Europe, and just we lived all around the world. There's just this like stupid stereotype, oh, we appeared out of nowhere in 18th century Eastern Europe, we never lived anywhere else, like denying our indigenous connection to the land of Israel. But anyway, Esther must leave everything behind when she flees to Cuba, including the sister she vows to rescue. Life is getting unbearable for Jews in Poland as World War II approaches. Esther's father has fled to Cuba and has finally saved enough for her to be the first one to join him. It's heartbreaking to be separated from her family, so Esther promises her sister she'll write down everything that happens until they're reunited. And she does, recording both the good, the kindness of the Cuban people, and her discovery of a valuable hidden talent, and the bad, the fact that Nazism has found a foothold even in Cuba. Esther's evocative letters are full of her appreciation for her new island home, where she relishes the sunshine, wearing sandals for the first time, and the beautiful language and music. They also reveal a resourceful girl with a knack for bringing people together, all the while working to bring her own family to Cuba before it's too late. Based on Ruth Behar's family history, this compelling story celebrates the resilience of the human spirit in the most challenging time. I know there's no illustrations in this book, and is this the last one? This actually didn't meet any of the prompts. I was kind of embarrassed. Oh, there's two more books in this. I'll bring out this one first. I only saw this one on the title. I thought it was called Traitor. I just totally, I guess, missed this part of it. And it's also about the dark days of McCarthyism in the 1950s. Catch you later. Traitor. Brooklyn, New York. What other Brooklyn is there? 1951. 12-year-old Pete Collison is a regular kid who loves Sam Spade detective books and radio crime dramas, but when an FBI agent shows up at Pete's doorstep accusing his father of being a communist, Pete finds himself caught in a real-life mystery. Could there really be commies in Pete's family? At the same time, Pete's class turns against him, thanks to similar rumors spread by his own teacher. Even Kat, Pete's best friend, feels the pressure to ditch him. As Pete follows the quickly accumulating clues, he begins to wonder if the truth could put his family's livelihood and even their freedom at risk. In the tradition of the Newbery Honor Book, Nothing But the Truth, Avi's newest novel tells a funny, insightful story packed with realistic period detail of a boy in mid-20th century America. Its unique look at what it feels like to be an average family caught in the wide net of the Red Scare has powerful relevance to contemporary questions of democracy and individual freedom. Yeah, this is definitely, like, I highly encourage people to, like, check out books, both fiction and nonfiction, about the dark days of McCarthyism. It, like, really makes me sick to see historical revisionism, like people saying, McCarthy was right, or he should have gone even farther. Yeah, he destroyed, like, countless, like, lives. Like, oh, I just hate this dude so much. And this is for the debut. I know this is a really, really, like, old book. It's not a contemporary writer doing a debut, but, you know, I have dinosaur taste, and I'm almost positive I never read this before. Summer of My German Soldier by Betty Green. This was her very first book. Let's see, the publication date is, what is it? Is this the 70s? Yeah, it was 1973, and this is so basically like a 12-year-old girl. Again, it's covering the synopsis. I freaking hate this so much. The summer something like turns 12 is a summer that will haunt her forever. When her small hometown in Arkansas becomes the site of a camp housing German prisoners during World War II, Patty learns what it means to open her heart. Even though she's Jewish, she begins to see a prison escapee, Anton, not as a Nazi, but as a lonely, frightened young man with feelings not unlike her own, who understands and appreciates her in a way her parents never will. And Patty is willing to risk losing family, friends, even her freedom, for what has quickly become the most important part of her life. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave a comment telling me what you thought of the books, if you have ever read any of these books yourself, or if you would like to read them, and if you yourself are doing middle grade March or have done so in the past. And please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Unfortunately, I've been losing a lot of subscribers. I'm not sure why, because I barely ever get any comments, so I don't know if these people are like just hating the videos I post lately or what, but I am still like hopeful to make like more friends on booktube and authortube. I know I probably will never have like a very popular, successful channel, but I really would like to have like being a part of an actual like friend group, instead of just like having a few friends who comment like every now and then. And like thank you very, very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.